Okay, so I'll never get either Rey or Kylo Ren Supreme Leader or Galactic Legend, but I'll have a look at them. No harm in looking, right? So it's silly season at the moment from the looks of Rey's kit. Will Kylo's be the same? I've seen a very few quick comments saying this is underwhelming. Let's have a look at the dev insight very quickly. So he's primarily focused on dealing damage and increases his strength over the course, but doesn't care about keeping his squad mates alive. His stats grow over time through the new effect called Siphon, and can be very strong in longer encounters. Kylo Ren is event. Oh, okay, that's just about his event. Depths of Rage has multiple thresholds at which he can activate his ultimate and provide 1, 2, or 3 turns of aggressive stance. While in this stance, Kylo is immune to damage and detrimental effects and can't be defeated. His Siphon is doubled. So what does that mean? If he takes a detrimental effect or damage? Oh no, or if he's defeated, right? His Siphon is doubled, and his abilities have no cooldowns. You'll want to wait for his ultimate to fully charge if you think your squad can weather the enemy's attacks for a few more turns. I did read a sentence actually earlier. Today we are exploring some of the most unique aspects of Galactic Legends and particular interactions that may trip you up when reading through his kit. I'm pretty much tripped up and face planted on this kit already. Right, Siphon, what does that do? Siphon icon doesn't do anything on its own, but it represents the percentage of stats stolen when used in conjunction with other abilities. Right. An ability that uses Siphon will specify which stat it will steal. In the case of Kylo's Special 2, Kylo steals Mastery based on how many stacks of Siphon he has. Right, so how do I get Siphon? You want to use Kylo's Basic and Special 1. Okay, that's easy enough. And then to ensure that Kylo can Siphon Mastery, right, most characters have a base mastery of 0, regardless of if they have their relic unlocked. Mastery can go negative, and when it does, the stat that it affects for the particular character will be decreased rather than increased. Okay, well that makes sense. And right, anything interesting here? We wanted to capture his straightforward nature with his kit along with his imposing presence. Yeah, I'll agree with that. Extra crit damage and advantage, but also units that can keep Kylo alive while he powers up. Okay, so yeah, I'd assume you're going to pair him up with people like Kylo Ren Unmasked and things like that. When he uses ultimate, the later thresholds can cause his aggressive stance to last longer, but each additional threshold requires less charge. Right, so that explains 1, 2, and 3. This makes it far more efficient to use Depth of Rage at full charge, but this ability can still be used earlier. Okay, so you need 60 rather than full. Right, but it makes more sense if you can wait till 100 because it's 3 turns of Depths of Rage. Okay. God, okay. Right, squad suggest. Okay, this isn't too long. Special interactions. Press the advantage, which encourages you to stay away from spamming 2 meter. However, you should. Oh, yeah, of course, because Rey is going to gain from this as well. However, you should use it sparingly as your squad can build up max health and protection over the course of the battle. Yeah, for Rey, maybe. Press the advantage allows Kylo to be immune to taunt. This does not mean he ignores taunt, rather, he is immune to gaining taunt right from the enemy's perspective. Okay, so no mark or death mark. Right, that makes sense. Siphoning Mastery is useful against units without Mastery, as Mastery can go negative, so even units with relics are vulnerable to losing stats. Units without relics. Okay, I'm a little bit confused there, but maybe in the comments you can describe it. Supreme Leader Kylo Ren will allow Darkside allies to regain advantage whenever advantage is removed without scoring a crit hit. Right. There are many. Okay, so General Hux, Sith Trooper, Kylo Ren, First Order Stormtrooper. Yeah, so this is basically paired up, so not as flexible as Rey. While General Hux's max health and max protection will be reduced when he gains bonus turn meter, press the advantage. It's still incredibly useful to bring Hux in order to give Supreme Leader bonus turns. Yeah, because you don't really want to be given a huge amount. Let's have an actual proper look. Yeah, this is incredibly complex kit that they've done for both of them. I get why they've done it. Rey's, I was just thinking about it. Even Rey's, if you gave her half of that kit, she'd still be the most powerful character in this game ever. So the first one, Brutal Assault. Buff immunity for 2 turns and deal physical damage to them twice. If the target was stunned, deal damage again and gain advantage for 2 turns. If it's Kylo's turn, why would it not be his turn if he's already attacking? He gains 10 Siphon, a counterattack, until the end of the encounter. This unit will gain 1% of a stat per stack. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck? And the target will lose the amount gained. This will be easier when you see it and playing it, because by text it's like a rough read. Stasis Strike. Dispel buffs on the enemies and stun targets for 2 turns. Then deal physical damage. And Kylo gains 20 Siphon until the end of the encounter. On a crit hit, Kylo gains 40 Siphon. Okay, so this is all about Siphon. What have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 again? Is that 6 again? Yeah, Stasis Strike, Furious Onslaught. And this one here, dispel all debuffs, grant them advantage, gain a percentage of mastery equal to the unit's siphon, and the target loses that much mastery. Stacking excludes Rey and Galactic Legend. So are you telling me that this doesn't work against Rey? Or Mary Sue, should I call her? Right, is a lead. Dark Side allies have 40% mastery and 50% crit damage. Whenever a Dark Side ally loses without scoring a crit hit, they gain advantage. Okay, that's right, so it keeps the crit train going. Whenever a Dark Side ally gains advantage, if they didn't already have it, they gain a bonus. Taunt, crit damage up, or gain 20% turn meter. I think this is going to be a rough battle versus Rey, you know. Press the advantage. So this is unique. Immune to staggering, can't gain taunt effects. Oh yeah, taunt effect. We went through that earlier. Whenever a dark side ally loses turn meter, they gain 10% max health and max protection stacking. Loses turn meter. That's not bad. That might turn the course of the battle. Whenever a dark side gains bonus turn meter, they lose. Oh dear. Whenever a dark side ally gains bonus turn meter, they lose 10% of their current max health and max protection. So when they lose turn meter, they get tankier. When they gain turn meter, they get worse. Galactic Legend 2, or Unique 2 Galactic Legend. The unit has 10% max health and max protection, and the damage received is decreased. So exactly the same. Oh, so Galactic Legend is the same for Rey or Kylo. Depths of Rage. Yeah, we went through this a little bit earlier with the charges. Aggressive stance. So what does like aggressive stance? Gains 2% ultimate whenever a dark side ally deals physical or special to an enemy, increased to 5% on a crit hit. That's useful. So I guess even with AoEs, that's very useful as well. So enters an aggressive stance and deals physical damage to all enemies which can't be evaded. While in his stance, Kylo is immune to damage and death effects. He can't be defeated, his siphon is doubled, and his abilities have no cooldowns. That's a little bit annoying that he's not, that he like can't be targeted, because that would be quite useful, like bait and switch. Compared to Rey, meh. Yeah, what's left to do is check the comments. This will give us the real opinion on the kit. I'll agree with that. Compared to Raymet, he's stun reliant, and there are too many anti-stuns. He has cooldowns, and his lead is pretty boring. I hope he can compete, since I'm going for Kylo. Kylo being advertised as ultra aggro, but Ray does massive damage times 3. Siphoning is badass, so hopefully siphoning is as good, I agree, as that massive damage times 3. Can someone explain how siphon works? A stat really isn't that descriptive. I agree. We don't know, and we don't have a gauge because it doesn't give us any percentages at all. It is quite vague, and we'll have to wait until there's some actual gameplay to kind of work it out. Unless Siphon is way better than I think, it seems like pretty underwhelming. Yeah, I'll agree with that. This drawback feels unnecessary. Yeah, I agree. Why would you need to lose 10% max health and protection? I'll completely agree with that. The fact that Ray can deal 300k damage on her first turn is a testament as to how ridiculous things have gotten. Yeah. So can Hux be unnerfed because it's hard to use them with SL, KR, and any other dark side toon? I think Kylo is pretty lovable and nice, but so many things need explaining. Cypher needs elaboration because so far a stat feels like he just steals a random stat. Does he run it down like a list? First deals health, then protection and speed. I'll agree that does need Siphon. I'm sure will be explained a little bit more. Exactly what I was thinking, especially when there is no such drawback in Ray's kit. Yeah, this will be about the unnecessary drawback. That's all positive, and she can lead any light side, but under Kylo, any dark side who gains turn meter now is a real hindrance. Yeah, I'd completely agree with that. So Ray does tend to be the better looking Galactic Legend, but until we actually see any gameplay, speculation, it's based on the target's mastery when siphoned. Well, that would make more sense. If the target is tactics attacker, then relic's mastery boosts crit chance, accuracy and damage. Yeah, that would work. That's a good comment. Good luck dropping anyone on Galactic Ray's team to below 6% health before she takes her first turn. I know it sounds ridiculous with that Galactic Legends unique, I think it was. Don't mind Kylo's kit. It seems a reasonable kit. Rays just feel like depression. I'll agree. Kylo's kit looks better in terms of the where the next step up is in the game. And Rays just feels ridiculous at the moment. But as I said, we won't be able to work it out until we can actually get some gameplay. There's a more detailed explanation. Siphon doesn't do anything on its own, but it represents a percentage of stats stolen. Again, as I said, I'd rather see some gameplay. You mentioned right in the kit you can choose when to use his ultimate ability, and based on that, it's a significant advantage if you can hold when fully charged. How is this toon designed to be used on defense? Immediate use or full charge? We'll have to find out through gameplay. Yeah, but it's okay. You need to reread the ability. She can use it once free of charge, but then the second plus times require that any ally falls below 6% health. That's every single ally. So each and every time one of her allies drops below 6% health on the first time, she's going to be using that. So it's ridiculous. It feels like we can theory craft a bit against Kylo. I know what they're going to say here. Race Kit just seems like someone has the biggest crush on her character and wants to make her unbeatable. Maybe it'll be different when we see some footage, but I'm not holding my breath. Again, the case of Mary Sue, I'll agree. Okay, so there's our comments on that one. So I'd like to get your thoughts on this. We've seen both kits now. Until we see some gameplay, obviously we won't know how good they are or how even they are, or whether there are. I don't think there are any new characters planned in terms of. I think this is it now for the trilogy content. Yeah, let me know your opinion on this, or if you can work out Siphon, because until we see some actual gameplay of this, I don't think we'll be able to. I've been that Snow Moon. This has been the biggest head scratch I've had in a while. I'll try and sort of go through this and maybe have a look at it and see if there's any theory to be had here. I'm sure there is. Again, I'm not much of a first order guy. But yeah, that felt a little bit underwhelming. I'll agree with the comments, a little bit underwhelming. Synergies is going to go with General Hux, KIU, which makes complete sense. First Order Stormtrooper, my opinion, you should only really need one tank in a team. You shouldn't really need two. Sith Trooper, but the problem is First Order, like you can't put Phasma in there. You can't really put like First Order TIE Pilot will hit okay, but he's just going to get like absolutely vaporized by resistance. I mean, it's all resistance at the moment, like Sith Trooper saving grace, but the problem is Rey's going to get that ability. Even if he gets a big hit off and they go below 60% health, Rey's going to have a big hit out there again. I'm just trying to imagine how it would work, but until we get some more details or some gameplay, we won't know. But Siphon sounds fairly cool. I'm willing to give it the benefit of the doubt because we haven't seen it yet. I'm not going to go trashing it because, but also until we see how these characters actually perform and interact, we won't actually know. So, and again, no one's played around with it. No one's, again, as soon as the theory crafters get hold of it, they'll know what, or they'll be able to squirrel away at working on it. And again, I'm sure that this team will be very good and very worth it as well. I've been That Snow Moon. I'm going to leave it there, try and digest some of this, and I will see you all next time. If you have enjoyed the content, please leave a like, a comment, let me know your thoughts, and a subscribe if you want to see future videos from the channel. Right, have a nice evening. I will see you all next time, and yeah, as I said, tough kits to get through. Just button bash. Feels like Tekken all over again. Right, I'll see you next time. Cheers, guys.